Hey everyone, it's MK. Welcome back to the home studio of MK Quilts and MK Quilts University. And yes indeed, it's a record from home today in the good old stretchy pants and slippers. And I had to take my glasses off because that darn old ring light just like glares in my glasses. But enough about that. So what am I doing at the home studio today? Well, hopefully you saw some of our recent posts just over my shoulder. I'm going to be stepping over there in a minute. There is a brand new Handi Quilter Infinity with Pro Stitcher sitting on my frame. In a couple of weeks, that baby is going to a brand new owner of ours here in Florida in the Villages. And that machine is about to get a test run here at the home studio on the quilt behind me. So what I thought I would do today is kind of do a What's Up with MK along with some layout and rendering on this quilt behind me. So you guys, this is kind of the special treatment that we give our owners here at MK Quilts. We like to, whenever possible, I'm going to say about 98% of the time, we like to get those machines in on a pallet, just like you saw the other day, and test them on our floor. So either at the shop at MK Quilts, or in this case, an Infinity at my house. So what I plan to do today is bring you along on a little bit of what I'm going to do. This machine is straight out of the box. We're going to talk through some of the settings on the tablet. We're going to talk through some of the Pro Stitcher software. I'm going to talk needles and a few things. And then I'm going to get this baby loaded and we're going to do some stitching. Now, I'm not going to cover every single thing. You know why? Because I already have a video for that. It's called our MK Quilts New Owner video, and it's on MK Quilts University. Now this video goes to everybody who buys a machine from MK Quilts. Now here's the thing. I hope you're watching even if you didn't buy your machine from us. That course is a wealth of information. It goes all the way from simple loading, console settings. We talk a little bit in there about the frames. I mean, it is just chock full of good information. So, you know, hopefully you are connected with a good retailer. Whoever you bought your machine from, hopefully they gave you that good out-of-the-box training. If you feel like you need a little bit more, check out that video. Now, you can purchase it as a one-time video purchase, or you can become a member on MK Quilts University. I have thousands of people who learn from me on my training platform, and I have hundreds of videos there. Most of my focus on the university site is, of course, Pro Stitcher. That is my love, that is my passion. But we also have piecing classes on the university site, as well as free motion and ruler classes from the other half of the dynamic duo. That would be Ellen. She is my studio manager, my chief creative officer, and she is a phenomenal free motion quilter, and she does classes on the university site as well. I also have a phenomenal contributor named Paco. Paco lives in New Mexico, and she is a whiz kid with Pro Stitcher Designer. So if everything that I have just talked about interests you, you're going to want to hop on over to university.mkquilts.com. All right, enough already. Let me get my hands on this brand new Infinity. Come on, let's do it. All right, everyone, here we are. Cindy's brand new Infinity is right here. But as I stepped over to the frame, I did want to mention that I just finished this quilt top last night. It's called Ingrid, and it's from the Mixology 3 book. It's a GE Design Stripology. And as I mentioned that, just want to let you know that, yes, we are Handi Quilter retailers, but I also have 4,000 square foot full service quilt shop here in Palm Harbor, Florida. So check us out. Of course, I am dropping all of the links. All right, now I'm holding my laptop, aren't I? Why do I have my laptop here when I have Cindy's tablet right on her machine? Well, I did want to mention that my specialty is Pro Stitcher, but my claim to fame was using Pro Stitcher in simulation mode, and that means on my laptop. Now, I did capture a screenshot, so hopefully you can see, but on my laptop right now, I am running Pro Stitcher and I'm running Designer. And I just adjusted my screen so that they are sitting side by side. But one of the things about simulation that I was the first one to do was use simulation more as a design tool. So that's why I call a lot of my techniques layout and rendering. I'm using my laptop, my software, over there at my desk, and I'm getting my quilt all set up and ready to quilt. That's what I'm going to do with that quilt that you saw behind me on my design wall. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to check some of the settings on Cindy's tablet, and I'm going to make them more like my settings on Mcfinity. Again, I'm not going to cover everything because I have the other videos for you to reference. But let's just talk a little bit about some of the settings that I prefer on the tablet. Let me set this down. The first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and change out Cindy's needle, and I'm going to go ahead and put on a glide foot. Over here is Cindy's her accessory box. And inside of there are all of the extra things that she's going to need. Now, I like to mention needles because all Handi Quilter machines are shipped with a Gross Beckert, what we call a sharp needle. Here at MK Quilts, I prefer a Gross Beckert ballpoint needle. That's what I use 99% of the time. We also stock a Gross Beckert titanium coated needle. So more about that in the description of this video. But I want to go ahead and make Cindy's machine as close to what I use on a daily basis as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and change out that needle, put on a foot. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do right out of the chute, Cindy's bobbin case hasn't even come out of the bag yet. And you guys, that is the very, very first thing that I am going to do is get this baby out, wind a bobbin, and check my tension. It all starts with tension, and tension starts with the bobbin case, all right? Again, all of how we do the drop test and all about bobbins, that is in the new owner video. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do first of all is I am going to change the side panel on Cindy's machine so that those buttons along the left-hand side there more match mine, okay? Now, I'm going to have to cheat and look at my laptop because my machine is at the shop getting serviced. But the settings on my simulator are very close to what I want to set here on Cindy's Pro Stitcher. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to her console and I'm going to check some of her machine settings, okay? So things like cruise settings, stitches per inch, whether or not she has the laser lights turned on. I'm going to check on her assignments on her handlebars, all of those kind of things. Again, I'm going to mirror them as close as possible to my machine. Stepping off the camera as well to grab Cindy's copy of Pro Stitcher Designer. Now, Pro Stitcher Designer demo mode comes with your Pro Stitcher. One of the things about that, which is great, is you can use it in the demo mode. But you can't export and stitch anything unless you license your product. So, Cindy, I don't know if you're going to want yours licensed. I'm going to go ahead and give you a call and ask you if you want me to just go ahead and put your first copy of Designer licensed on your tablet. I would be happy to do that for Cindy because she's an owner. Again, she gets the special treatment. With Pro Stitcher Designer, you get 2 activations. Once you activate Designer, you own it. You can't resell it, it's yours. But you do get 2 activations. I recommend that one goes on the tablet and one goes on your laptop. The very last thing that I want to say about the tablet, and then I'm going to get going with the settings, is right now, as of the recording of this video, which is mid-February 2025, we just received a new version of Pro Stitcher from the folks out at Handi Quilter and ProStitcher.com. Now, I'm going to make a statement that is just our opinion and our advice. Whenever a new update comes out, it doesn't mean that everybody has to run and download and use the update. And as a matter of fact, if you know anything about us, you know that my husband, co-owner and affectionately known as Mr. MK, spent 30 years in the tech industry before he left that behind and we started working MK Quilts together. And Paul's mantra always is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the thing that we do here at MK Quilts, whenever we get new pro stitchers in, is I have my tech staff back at the shop, that would be Paul and Adam, go through and make sure that the tablets are updated as far as Windows goes. And then we put a copy of Pro Stitcher, a version that is, onto the tablet that we feel that our owners should be using at this point in time. And at this point in time, I am not going to update Cindy's tablet to the most current version. I'm working with the current version. Well, I haven't had any trouble with it on our machines at the shop, but you know what? I'm not ready to put my full endorsement behind it. Now, having said that, you guys, Handi Quilter and the folks at ProStitcher.com, they work very hard on these updates and they're always looking to improve it. So I'm sure it's wonderful. But the thing about updates is not everybody is in tune with updates as we are. Not everybody is familiar with Windows and doing updates and downloading them and all of that as we are. So I don't want people to rush and do something that they feel uncomfortable with, they're not ready for, they don't understand, and on and on and on, okay? So the point of the story is we're using a slightly older, reliable version of the Pro Stitcher that works just fine on the tablets. When we feel ready to put our full endorsement behind any new version of the software, our folks will know. Now, if you're one of our folks, you know where to find that information. On our Facebook page, on our Facebook group, and we always talk about it during our Q&A sessions. Q&A is held on MK Quilts University, and I am hoping by this point, you're this far into your video. If you're not already a member of MK Quilts University, that is the way that you become part of our community. That is the way that we will help support you a little bit, even if you didn't buy your machine from us. But again, I am not going to go straight into the new version of the software on Cindy's machine just yet. I'm going to test it with a known, reliable version, send it to her that way, and as an owner, she is going to be one of the first ones to know. And get help, by the way, downloading any updates and then uploading that and updating her tablet. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut the video. I will talk through with some voiceover or whatnot about what I'm doing to the tablet, but I am just dying to get my hands on this machine. So first things first, needle, bobbin case, some of the settings, and I'll meet you back when it's time to put some thread to fabric.